Good morning. Happy Wednesday. We have one more week left of school, meaning next Wednesday is my last day. So we really only have 3 full days this week, 2 full days next week, and then a half day for the last day. And I am so excited. There's still a lot I need to do around here to kind of prepare and get ready, but report card comments are done. Plans are all prepped and ready to go for the rest of the school year. And I am just excited. I am very much looking forward to a summer vacation, even though I do a lot of my other work during that time, but I'm excited to be home with the boys, home with Parker, and just relaxing. So I cannot wait. I did think I would bring you along this last week and just kind of share what we're up to. I'm doing these fun themed days this past week. Yesterday was Memory Day, today is Friendship Day. So I thought I would quickly kind of walk you through some of the activities we're doing to keep kids reviewing the skills we've learned all year, but also kind of having fun each day with some quick little fun things mixed in there. So let me open up the slides and I can show you what we're up to. All right, let's take a look at yesterday's plans first for Memory Day. We went through our regular morning. Because it was Memory Day, I said, let's review what we learned in first grade. I had written, these are all from my Countdown to Summer unit. So this poem had a lot of R-controlled vowels in it. So we went over the R-controlled vowel sounds that we learned, and then we blended some words with R-controlled vowels and talked about what they meant. Let's do each one. Bird, torn, stir, and we use these words in a sentence. And then here is the activity. So we read this Memories poem. I kind of read it to them first, they echo read it, and then they tried to read it together with a partner. We went through and highlighted all of the R-controlled vowel words and wrote down how many we found here in the box. And then they had a real and nonsense word activity. So they had to read each one. If it was a real word, they would go ahead and color it in, and then they would write 6 of the words from the poem down here that were R-controlled. So they did this with a partner yesterday for phonics. Then we read Wilfred Gordon MacDonald Partridge, which is such an adorable book. I read this book many, many years ago in class all the time. And so this is a fun one to read with your students and talk about memories and why they're important, and kind of the relationship between the older woman and the young boy. And then we answered this sheet together. So what was the problem? How is it solved? Do you think Wilfred and Miss Nancy are good friends? Why or why not? What is a definition, or what's your definition of a memory? And then at the end of the story, Wilfred made a little memory box to help Miss Nancy. So they had to draw 5 things that they would put in their memory box. Then for win time, we're doing must do, may do's all week. So this over here, we reviewed time, and then students all played memory. I'll insert a picture up here. So they got in groups of 4 and they played memory with time to the hour and half hour, which was a great review because many of my students with that half hour were still getting tricked up. So I'm happy to bring that back around. After lunch and recess, we actually had a regular math class because we are introducing measurement. I had told you in the last few videos that we are way behind on math. So we saved this unit for last because really all they need to be able to do is measure something accurately with cubes or some sort of non-standard measurement tool, and then they need to be able to compare items. So these are my measurement math talks, and I'm kind of going through a few of these each time. So which one is longer, explain, put these in order, how tall is each item or how long, so they can actually count up. And then for this one, it is what's wrong. And so with each of these what's wrong slides, I talk about the importance of using a starting line, making sure the item goes from one end to the other, making sure some of them have like spaces in between the cubes. The one for today actually has a bunch of paper clips, but they're overlapped. And they have to explain kind of what the measurer did wrong. And then we played roll and compare. So the last couple days we've been playing a lot of my little measurement games. So all they had to do here was roll the item, and I had all of these real life items out in a couple bins spread out around the room, and they had to compare the two and circle the one that was longer. And then we also had another game, I'll insert a picture here, that we played yesterday, or we played 2 days ago rather, where they would just spin some of these items and measure it with cubes and record how long it was. So they were already familiar with these items, and today, instead of just measuring them, they're comparing them. Our special was art, and then we have been doing just our memory book for writing. So we have a little first grade memory book that we're doing, and we spend about 15 minutes completing as many pages as they can throughout the week. This is kind of like their last little thing that they're going to take home with them. And then for social studies and science, we just sat down in a circle. I taught them a little bit about their amazing brain, and we talked about which part holds our memories, and then some of the other parts of the brain. And then we did puzzles together as a group. So students got in groups of about 3 or 4, and they would have to complete 4 different puzzles. There's 6 in total, I think, but each group got 4. And after they would complete it, it might be like this is a group of students playing a game. There was one that was like a rainy day. Another had a little animal on it, like a little pet. And so they had to then, after they completed the puzzles, they would each go around and share a memory they have of playing games with friends or something that happened on a rainy day. Something like that. But it was very, very cute, and it was a lot of fun. So basically for each of these days, I have a ton of activities that kind of align with each subject or skill. So that is how we are going to continue it. I had mentioned this, but today is Friendship Day. So I'll walk you through those slides too, so you can see what we're going to do today. And then the other ones, I'll just link it all down below because you can see in the preview of the product kind of some of the activities that we'll be doing. But there's Camping Day, Sports Day, Ice Cream Day. There's one more because there's 6. I can't remember the other one. I think this happened last time and I don't know if I remembered. But anyway, those are the 6 days that I currently have in that unit. And there's just a ton of activities that you can do. Some are print and play. Some are like prep, but for each prepped activity, like the time memory game, you'd have to, cut out all the cards. You could have students do it too. But instead of that, if that was going to be too much prep for you at the end of the year, I also just included a 1-page time review game. So I tried to make it as easy as possible, but let's go over today. All right, I skipped through the morning meeting slides because it's always the same. It is Would You Rather Wednesday, but these questions are going to be friendship related. So would you rather have a friend sleep over your house or go to a friend's house for a sleepover? Also, I'm realizing I'm missing that apostrophe, so I'm gonna add that now. Would you rather have lots of friends or just 1 or 2 close friends, and explain why? Calendar, phonics. Oh, so today we're practicing blends. So I'm going to review the consonant blends at the beginning or end of a word. Here we're going to talk about some L blends, and we'll talk about how L, R, and S blends are the more popular blends we often see. I don't teach like specifically that these are the only blends. I just say that these are more popular so they can get used to that, especially with those tricky R blends. And we'll blend each one: cliff, slip, blue, and we'll use them in sentences. Here's some R: crab, truck, fry, scarf, smell, spy. So I also reviewed some of those trickier concepts in there as well, like the floss rule, R-controlled vowels, Y at the end of a word. And then we will play with a friend. It's called Let's Blend Friend. So this is the game that I have. I printed out a bunch of different copies, and there's an activity sheet for this one. Says mixed at the top right here. So that means it has all different types of blends at the beginning, but there's one just for R blends, S blends, and L blends specifically as well. So here students will take turns going back and forth. They will roll the 2 dice, and then they have to find that number on their side, and they have to identify the beginning blend that they hear at the beginning of the word and write it in the box next to it. So they'll play that for a little bit. If they finish one game quickly, they can grab a different sheet, but it shouldn't take too long, maybe 10 minutes or so they'll play. After snack and recess, we are going to read Should I Share My Ice Cream by Mo Willems. This one I could have used for ice cream day as well, but I used it for friendship. And we will talk about all different questions. Explain to me why both Elephant and Piggy are good friends to one another, and they have to use examples from the text. And we will do a good review of making inferences with our schema, plus what we found from the text to make an inference. And then for the must do, may do part for Win today, we have the activity that they're going to do is a data activity. So I have about 4 different graphs or survey questions that they can ask friends in the class. And they are going to partner up. They're going to pick one of the questions. I think this one's what's your favorite color of red, blue, yellow, or green. They will go around and collect the data with a little tally chart. Then they will make it into a bar graph and answer the questions. And then they can go to their may do. For math, I told you it's regular. So math, we are doing measurement again. Here's the same types of math talks. This is the paperclip one I told you about. And then for today, they are going to do a practice page. I meant to print it out. It's page 107. So I'll put that up there so they can see. While half the class is doing this for 15 minutes, the other half of the class is going to do the Measure Me activity. This is from my hands-on measurement unit. where they are going to get with a partner, and they have to first estimate how many cubes long they think each of those body parts are, write it down, and then they'll actually measure it with cubes. So they'll do their hand, their foot, their whole arm, their whole leg, and then their whole body laying down. So that is always a fun one. And then after 15 minutes, we will switch, and then these kids will go back and do the worksheet while they do the measuring activity. If there's time after, or if students are kind of working through that quickly, I will have them do this measurement just activity where they have to go ahead and color in how many cubes long each of these items are. I like this one because it doesn't always start at the beginning, so they have to recognize that they are only coloring in those two blocks because that is the beginning and end of their object. And then at the end, they put them in order from shortest to longest. We have music today. We'll do our memory book. And then what we're going to do is we have a whole group sort here, and we're going to talk about what makes a good friend and not a good friend. So I have some scenario cards that I will pass out to pairs of students. They'll have to read it together. And then as a whole group here on the rug, we will do the sort, and they will have to come up and kind of explain why it belongs in good friend or not a good friend, and tell us why. And then we did actually earn our last class party today, and so they wanted to do extra recess, so they are going to go do a little extra recess after we do this sort. Phew. Okay, I feel like I talked fast, but that is just two clear examples of what these kind of theme days look like. Memory Day and Friendship Day. Tomorrow is Camping Day, that's Thursday, and then Friday is Ice Cream Day. So it'll be the same type of thing. On Ice Cream Day, I am bringing in little ice cream sandwiches for them at the end of the day so we can go out and enjoy them. But it's just really a fun way to review all the first grade skills we've learned so far and keep them engaged and entertained without necessarily learning too many new skills, but also adding a little theme to it, making it a little bit more fun. So I love teaching this unit at the end of the year. I think it is so fun. The kids really like it. Another thing I need to do, as I'm looking at this right now, is we have started celebrating our summer birthdays, and we have a ton. We have 7 summer birthdays. So we started actually on Monday, and pretty much every day until the end of the year, we will have a summer birthday that we are celebrating. So I need to print out their little book. This is their little, I put this inside a little plastic cup. I shared this at the beginning of the year, but I'll share it again after I make this right now for their little gift. And they get a little book with all the wonderful things that their friends or their classmates say about them. Ooh, which reminds me, let me grab something that we're going to also do today, or that they're going to share today. Class letters. So this is something I also like to do at the end of the year. And I passed out on Monday, I put up a random spinner on the board, and it had numbers 1 through 18, so all the students in my class. And students would come up, they would spin, and they would get a person in our class, and I would write the person's name on a sticky note. And then I just gave them a letter template, and they had to say, I have loved being your classmate because, and they had to give 2 reasons why. So they wrote a friendly little letter, and today, at the end of the day, before we do that extra recess, I'm going to have them hand deliver their letter to their person in the class, and they'll get to read it to them and hopefully feel a little special. But I really like it. I don't have them choose a friend because that gets tricky, and we talk about how everybody in here, regardless of whether we're best friends with them or not, has been a great classmate for many different reasons, and we all respect and love one another. And then they drew a little picture too on here. So I think this will be very cute and a fun little way just to get a little nostalgic and remember how special, 180 days has really been with one another, and how much we learned and grew and had fun along the way. So this is something we are also doing. Here we have our little birthday gift, and he also has a little birthday crown that I'm not going to show you because his name is on it, but just something cute and simple. I put all of the supplies for this on my Amazon wish list at the beginning of the year, and it was funded by some parents, so It wouldn't have been that expensive anyway, just a big bulk of all this stuff. But that was a nice little treat that they helped out with that I could give their kid to make them feel special. All right, and I think the last thing I wanted to share with you was just the end of year gift. So I am not doing a big end of year gift. I already did a book during winter vacation. So that was cute. But basically all I'm doing for our end of year gift is I just take a little picture of me and my student together. So I'm just gonna do a little selfie. Today I'm probably gonna take them. And then I got these clear photo frames. I'll try to grab it so I can show you. Actually, let me do that now. Looks just like this right here. It just kind of stands up, and obviously you put the photo in. Obviously you put the photo in here. It's a little 4x6, and then on the back I'm going to write a handwritten letter. So I always used to send a little picture home and then a handwritten letter, but then somebody on Instagram, I don't remember who, she's a very she has a large following, so if you know it, please link it down below, or if I find it, I will link it down below. She packaged it exactly this way. Instead of doing the separate letter, she just wrote on the back the little letter to her kids. And I just like a little personalized hand note talking about how much I've loved being their teacher, how much they've grown, any little advice I have for them going forward. And it's just a cute little keepsake that they can keep for a little or get rid of, totally up to them. But it's my gift to them. So this is all I'm doing. The grade level, we did get a bunch of cheap little sunglasses with like "Your Future's So Bright" or something. So we did all go in on that too. So on the last day, they'll get their little photograph as well as those fun sunglasses to head off into summer. So this is going to be my last kind of vlog style video. I think I said that too ago, that I wasn't sure I was going to be able to keep up with sharing what we're doing in class, but I'm happy to say that I have been able to. So you kind of understand how our themed days are going for these next few days. Next week's video, I do plan to actually sit down. I've already been taking some notes of things I'm going to keep for the year, for next year, and things I'm going to change for the next year. So I have some list of things that I've really been loving, some things that I definitely want to change up. I like to do this. I always write it down anyway, but making a video is going to help as well because it forces me to write it all down. But I like to, at the end of every year, kind of reflect, and I like to do it while I'm still in school. I know it's a pain, it's like another thing to think of, but I find that once I start over the summer, I kind of forget some of those little things, and then it starts back up next year. And I'm like, oh wait, I didn't want to do that. I wanted to do it this way. So just kind of keeping it fresh in my mind is always helpful. So next week's video will be a little sit down with a end of year reflection and things I want to keep, things I want to change. As always, I hope you enjoyed this video, and I really hope you enjoyed coming along with me for the entire school year. It has been so much fun getting to share my ideas and activities with you. I learn a ton from you guys. Yeah, it's always fun to get a little sneak peek into how everybody else teaches, right? I feel like we learn so much from one another. So as always, if you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up so I know. Make sure you are subscribed to my channel and click that bell. That way you're notified of every new video. See you in the next one. Bye.